I've always wanted to be known as like a legend, and I think like I'm doing that right now, and I feel like I'm making a name for myself when it comes to high school track and field. Like even though I only started running when I was in the 8th grade, I just feel like this is like, I feel like I was meant to do this.
Ariana Washington making short work of 100 meters here.
But in the middle of the track, you're seeing one of the best in the nation. This is Ariana Washington. NXT champ 1 and 2.
Well, for Ari, she has the potential, I think, to be really great, more than what she is right now. I don't think she's even tapped into her full potential yet.
Washington.
She's first of all, she's just a wonderful young lady. Very compassionate for a fellow man, and it's obvious that she's heavily talented. And right now, it's just a matter of her continuing to improve and to gain knowledge of her, to know herself. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. And of course, a good coach.
I video every practice. We go over tape, we watch footage, we do separate technical drills to get her there. So it's a lot. It's not just run. Ari, just run. Don't get me wrong. She has genetics are ultimately the first thing that puts you in that position. But it takes a lot of technical stuff, and peaking at the right time is what we're looking for. There's a lot of components that come into play in the 100 meters. You know, it's a quick race, but it's a lot of technical things that you have to take care of. For one, Ari's acceleration was off a little bit last year, so that was one thing that we wanted to clean up coming into this year. And so I think we're off to a good start with that. In this race, I see we really want to emphasize pushing the first 6 seconds of a race. She pretty much walked out of the blocks there on that one. Like once again, we're telling her to really push that first half of that race. Little plantar flex there. We really want dorsal flex more so, especially from her freshman year when she literally fell on the track because the toe wasn't dorsal flex enough. So dorsal flex is when you have to have your toe up, opposed to your toe pointing down to the ground. You want your toe up so you can actually, when you come around and strike, you got the forefoot. So dorsal flex is toe up, and she was running with the toe down. That's why she actually literally tripped over her foot running as a freshman. Upper body mechanics here, she's leaning back, and those arms are kind of flapping like a duck there. So this year we just put a lot of focus on really getting those elbows high and snapping and keeping her posture upright in line, and so she could be much more of a fluid runner. Average start there. We want her to really push more coming out of the blocks to set up her acceleration phase and trying to make the race look like one good acceleration into her top end. She has great top end speed, so anytime we get her to get up into a good situation, she's fine. Making the race into 1 instead of 2, and that's what she had been doing. So we're looking good so far this year.
I wanna be known as like the fastest girl to ever come out of Long Beach, probably. I feel like Long Beach is always gonna be something I call home. So for me to like leave my name like there, it's like a big thing for me. It's something I can like tell my kids and tell my grandkids and things like that. I think it's not really about proving anything to like anybody else. I think it's more like personal goals for me this year, like national records. It's like I'm gonna win state regardless, you know. Something tragic is gonna happen for me not to win. So I know I'm gonna win. It's just a matter of, I think, times now.
I think she definitely will be in the Olympics one day, and what event will be her specialty, I don't know. She might end up running the 400, the 2, I don't know. She's destined to be great in some type of way, probably a spokesperson for Nike. She loves clothes just as much as I do, so, and she chose Oregon, and we know that the Nike hub is right there in Oregon, so who knows.
Tell me about your brother Gabe. What's your relationship like, and you know, how much does he mean to you?
That's my best friend. I'm gonna cry. I love my brother. I love my brother more than anything in the world. And you know, my brother has cerebral palsy, but I feel like that motivates me more because I want him to look at me and be like, okay, she can do it, so can I. Because sometimes I hate when he comes home and he's like, oh, the kids, they didn't pick me for basketball or something like that. And I just be like you. I'm like, you're gonna be like me. Like, you know, like I'm not gonna let you be mediocre or anything. Like, you're gonna be amazing because I'm gonna be amazing. Like, we're in this together. So that's my best friend. Like, anything that like he does, I support him like 100%. Like, he said he wants to make video games for a living. I'm like, okay, like, do you? He said he wants to play basketball. I'm like, okay, be LeBron. Like, you know, like, be whoever you want to be. Like, the way he supports me is the way I support him. Like, he's my biggest fan. He has a shirt that says Ari's biggest fan on it. So I love it. I love him. He's like, that's my little guy.
Because he was very sick as an infant, worried that he probably wasn't going to make it because he was so small, not even 3 pounds. Very scary. I mean, especially when you look around and you see all the little infants and you can't hold them, they just whisk him away. And I didn't get to see him for like the first 2 days. Like, where is he? I knew he was somewhere in the hospital, I just didn't know where he was. Very sad when I first saw him because he didn't even look like a baby. He just, I don't know. Can't even describe what he looked like. He had all the tubes and everything, and you couldn't even tell it was a child because he was so tiny and had everything. They were doing everything they could for him, which they made him my miracle baby. So I just knew when I finally did get to bring him home, like, okay, he's stiff. Like, when I've held babies before and they're not this stiff, but as you know, getting along, I said, well, you know, he might have cerebral palsy, but that's not diagnosed until they physically actually start to walk. And for his age, he was almost 2 before he actually started walking. We got the diagnosis, and when I first heard it, I was like devastated because I knew it was like something's not, you know, I knew something wasn't right with his mobility. I'm like, okay, something's not right, but you know, I just went along with it. And now, if you don't really know him, you wouldn't even know that he had cerebral palsy because he just runs along like any other normal kid.
Gabe's like my best friend because like that's like my only sibling that I have that actually lives with me. So it's like that's like the one person I spend the most time with, and we share a room. So it just kind of like makes it like that much better. Like, I have to wake up to see him. Before I go to bed, I see him, and so it's like, I mean, like, yeah, every brother and sister fights, but it's like when we fight, and then he'd be like, Ari, I love you. I'm like, okay, like, that's nice to know. Like, move out my way.
You're gonna be sad?
Huh?
You're gonna be sad when she leaves for a long, long time.
No, I'm gonna be happy.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay. You sure?
Yes.
Remember that? You told me she had left. You thought she had left for college?
Yeah.
And she stayed with Kimber for the weekend?
Yeah.
And you were sad, huh? Because you thought
No,
she...
I wasn't.
Yeah, you were.
No, was it?
You were sad because you thought she left without saying bye. What happens if she leaves and she doesn't say bye?
I'll be happy because I don't want to hear her again. I actually never liked Ariana. Even from the start.
You know, you want to show out. I see.
You being silly.
That's the last time you ever get breakfast for me. No more. I'm done. Who cooks you pancakes?
Myself.
You do not make pancakes.
I make waffles. Those are also pancakes.
No,
They're not. They're not pancakes though. That's fine. I remember that. I'm gonna miss like playing video games or like us like, you know, sometimes we'll get in my bed and we'll watch like movies together on Netflix, like that, like the little things, like to have someone to talk to who's like right underneath you, like that's gonna be hard too. And just, I don't know, just have like someone to look after. I love looking after him. I love being protective of him. That's gonna be hard too. It's kind of like I'm kind of scared to like leave him on his own. I feel like he's gonna be by himself. He just has to like get battled like through high school and middle school, like just by himself. I think that's hard for me. It's kind of scary.